Bowser's Fury proves that Nintendo Directs might actually be done forever. Let's discuss. We got an overview trailer for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury today. And one of the things that came into my mind at first when watching this was this type of trailer, or in-depth look if you want to call it, really felt like something that we'd normally see in Nintendo Direct. And the last time we've seen a proper Nintendo Direct was, I think, September 2019, something like that. Since then we've had Directs in the sense that we've had mini Directs and Directs that focus on one or two games specifically, such as we'd Animal Crossing, we'd the Super Mario 35 Direct, and I'm predicting we're going to get a Zelda Direct next month, maybe even a Pokemon one as well. But we've never had a full Direct with multiple first-party and third-party games. And so the debate that's been going around for the longest time is, are we ever going to see these again? And I was optimistic all along. I was thinking we have to, because the fans are wanting it. Nintendo knows it's a smart marketing strategy for their games, because so many people get hyped and they tuned in. And it's a way to market a load of games all at once and have them all get the same amount of attention, really. But I guess Nintendo's not seeing it that way. I don't know. I could be completely wrong and they might announce a Direct right after this video. But the way I'm currently seeing it is that just the style of the trailer really reminded me of how Nintendo Directs used to be done. And I know there is the argument to be made that we don't know what games are coming in 2021 for the most part. It's not like they have like 5 or 6 big games and they could have put them all in a Nintendo Direct, you know. At this time that we know of, there's only 3D World, No More Heroes, Bravely Default and Monster Hunter that are coming out this year. Obviously there's more games that we don't know of, but in terms of those ones, they could have put them all in the Direct, but those are kind of scattered throughout the year, so Nintendo probably deemed it inefficient to market them all at the same time, if you get what I mean. So maybe that's the only reason they didn't do a Nintendo Direct for this, but I don't know. It seems to be that Nintendo's sticking to the strategy of shadow dropping everything on Twitter. We saw it first with Paper Mario the Origami King, we saw it with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, we saw it with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and now we've seen it with Bowser's Fury. And I feel like this trend is going to continue. I don't know, it's possible, depending how the rest of the year goes up, that if E3 happens, and I'm confident there's going to be a virtual E3 this year. I could be wrong, I don't want to get my hopes up, but we'll see. But around that time, I think if there's going to be a return to Nintendo Directs, you would most definitely see them then. If E3 happens, obviously we'll get an E3 style Direct, but if E3 is not happening and they just go back to shadow dropping games, I think that would be the final nail in the coffin for Nintendo Directs. Because at this point, by the time that comes around, it'll be closing up on 2 years since the last one, and it just seems like Nintendo's ready to move on. Directs were a nice way for all Nintendo fans to sort of gather around and hoping to see their favourite franchises. Outside of E3 and the Game Awards, it's all we have for Nintendo during the years to get together and speculate, theorize, all this sort of stuff. And with them gone, it's also kind of killed the hype in a way, the build-up of hype for certain games, because instead of having a game get announced and then have several months of build-up and people getting excited and speculating, you're having a game getting announced and coming out 2 months later. And, you know, a lot of these games that they've done so far don't need that much marketing, I get it, but for fans, it does kind of kill hype. You know, if they do this with Breath of the Wild 2, for example, if they, let's say, around E3, they do a random Nintendo Direct, or Zelda Focus Direct, or whatever you want to call it, and they say, oh, it's coming out in 2 months. You want to have that hype, that build-up, that excitement train that everyone loves and gets a rush of when games come out. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. It doesn't affect the game overall, but it affects the mindset of the fans viewing it, if any of that makes sense. I know I'm kind of just rambling with what I'm saying here, but I don't know. This really did leave me with not much to hope for in terms of future Nintendo Directs, but it is a bit early to tell. Maybe it's just because they didn't have other games ready to show. That's a high possibility. I don't know. But we'll see. This year is the anniversary for several big party Nintendo games. The Legend of Zelda turns 35 on February 31st. Donkey Kong turns 40 sometime this year. Pokemon also turns 20 years old in February. Metroid turns 35 in August. There's so much with that I can't imagine them doing Nintendo Directs normally. I feel like all of these anniversaries are going to get their own Nintendo Directs and their own spotlights. I feel like that's Nintendo's plan. They want to split the year up based on those anniversaries, and I think 2022 will go back to a normal year in terms of releases, but I don't know. This is just early speculation. We don't really have a lot to go on. I just wanted to throw my thoughts out on that, but maybe you disagree with me. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. How did you feel about the general state of Nintendo Directs? Do you think they're coming back? Are they gone forever? What do you think Nintendo's plans for 2021 are? Do you think E3 is happening? I want to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section below. And yeah, with that all said, thank you all for watching and please subscribe. Novus Gorbis out.